What's going on, guys, and welcome back to episode 5 of my My Team career for the Dutch Grand Prix. Just putting on a couple of upgrades for the aerodynamics, which will be in for Baku. And just to set up my qualifying lap, my first qualifying lap, actually making a bit of a move on Hamilton, having a little bit of fun with him. And Zandvoort is a circuit that I like, I guess. It's not my best circuit. I can race on it, it's just maybe not my favourite. Actually, Verstappen getting very close. Luckily we went very early as sort of push, otherwise we might have gotten caught up behind him. A little bit of a lock up into turn 3. A little bit of a cut there, that is me checking my recording because I'm very paranoid when it comes to that stuff, because why wouldn't ya? Not very good run through the penultimate corner, which doesn't fit us very well for the pit straight. We're still a 111.679. Decent lap, having to actually get out of the way of Verstappen. Moving on to my second qualifying lap. I have missed most of it. You can see why I take those little cuts now. Yeah. Going up by half a second, and now on to my final qualifying lap. And Leclerc now very actually close as he comes out of the pits, almost spinning it into him. A little bit wide on the exit. We're still a 10th up in the first sector. Getting a nice exit out of the corner. Again, recording, because it's hard, okay? It's hard. You come across the line, sitting a purple sector complete. 3.
Let's review our top 3 today. Verstappen, Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas. Goodbye for now then,
P9,
but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Maybe not the best qualifying position, but somewhere up there. And Kimi Raikkonen with a 5-place grid penalty. I don't know what that is for, but he's got one.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. 4 lefts and 10 rights make up the 14 corners of the narrow and demanding Zandvoort circuit, with plenty of peaks and valleys over the course of a 2.6-mile lap, which will demand absolute concentration from our drivers here today. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Thomas. That was a solid result in their last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, and Perez, Sainz, Albon, Thomas, and Lance Stroll, Gasly, Norris, Esteban Ocon, and Magnussen, Grosjean, Ricciardo, Daniel Kvyat, and George Russell, Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen. They've taken a grid penalty, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
And going for a soft hard this time out. I'm running a little bit under fuel, only 0.2 laps. But of course we kind of have to go for a soft hard. Can't stop the mediums and actually put the front wing up by 1 click. Can't do anything to the rear wing because it's parc fermé. And I was trying to see if maybe I could switch it to a medium. But no. Unfortunately I couldn't.
Let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
And just skipping the formation lap, it's not so interesting, it's a formation lap. It's practically tyre saving really. And actually, something I was fairly surprised about, almost everyone's starting on softs.
The rest of the grid is forming.
I thought maybe someone would start on the
Watch for
hards,
lights.
extend their stint, and then go for a nice aggressive stint at the end when everyone's on fairly old hards, and then just get a big push going. And fairly uncharacteristically of me, I get a pretty cool start, although I managed to draw along Sainz in the second phase, but having to take the outside line more of that level, but Sainz and Albon pull away from me. Didn't really know what I could do. Bit boxed in, bit of contact on the rear, and there's a virtual safety car.
Has been deployed. We need to keep a positive delta here.
And Lance Stroll out of the session. Here is the replay. And actually, that's the contact that I felt. That was Lance Stroll hitting me in the rear and spinning him out of the race.
Here, slow down, maintain a positive delta. Some information on Stroll. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
You don't say a serious car issue, Jeff. He's lost a tyre. And this definitely does give me a bit of a chance to save a bit of fuel, I guess. Because I'll gain a little bit per lap of fuel if I just run with a little bit of fuel saving. If I run very aggressive, then I definitely lose fuel.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
The virtual safety car now ending. It actually ends right as we're on the chicane. Maybe not the rest spot because I can't really get any power down. And I can't really fuel save because I have got a lot of engine wear, definitely a lot of engine wear, and a lot of turbocharger wear. I've got pretty much no power. I am quite literally losing power every lap. Definitely didn't touch back on that one. be fair, Gasly was a bit bang out of order there. And actually a bit of front wing end plate flying off there. It wasn't mine, so it was Gasly's. Serves him right pretty much, because that was very rude of him. Pretty much came in behind me and then hit my rear tyre.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
And actually trying to hypermile down the straight, because I really do want to keep fuel for when I need it.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
And I think this is the first time that I've set a personal best by 13.9 seconds. Of course we had the VSC at turn 3, where well, it wasn't really my fault, I'm just going along and then Stroll's just hit my rear tyre. But probably a little bit to do with me. And actually setting a personal best in the first sector by 0.6 of a second,
Okay, we're monitoring
which is very nice.
on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
And they're just telling me that ICE is going to pop. The one good thing is that we do have DRS and now 0.7 of a second up from the first and middle sectors.
Engines showing small signs of wear. Power output will be down.
No flashback there, definitely not. Stop thinking there was. There wasn't. I said stop thinking there was. Stop thinking there was. And really closing up Sainz through that corner. I am running a very high wing. I'm running 811 wings, as you saw at the start of Grand Prix when I was doing a bit of my setup change in front wing. So I'm definitely quicker in the corners. Definitely not on the straights. I've got a wide engine and very high drag. And actually yellow flags. We're going to cut Max Verstappen, who is one that has had some issues. Coming out of check, gets my power way too early and breaks his front wing. The Dutch fans are not going to be happy about that at all. And there's me just whizzing by. And here it is from my perspective. And I thought Sainz and Verstappen were going to crash there. They got very close.
Track is clear. Green
I'm
flag.
definitely going Verstappen a bit more space than Sainz did. But that's us up a place, so no complaints from me. And Verstappen going straight in the pits, of course. He has got a broken front wing, so I would not expect him to go much further. The only positive thing I can say that came from Verstappen was that it was at the end of the lap. And now getting really close to Sainz, having to lift up the power for a second though, because we got a little bit too close. But you can see they're just gaining so much through that corner. And that is with the dirty air effect, of course. We're running a little bit deep, and Sainz is starting to get away from us. We're really closing up to him through the chicane, actually giving him a bit of a push, checking the front wing just in case of damage, because you never know. I've gotten really unlucky sometimes with that sort of thing. Australia. Getting really close Sainz through turn 1, although running a little bit too far. Stop thinking of flashback. Again, drawing alongside Sainz, we're looking really good. We've got the inside line for the next corner, giving him a bit of a shoulder,
Nice move.
and we get past. Although I do expect him to come back through the next DRS zone because
Gap to car in front is
I've got no power, and actually running a little bit wide, getting on the curb and the grass, and we run deep into the next corner. Sainz really closing up onto us. And Sainz actually fairly far away through the DRS zone, gaining a lot through the chicane. Their eye doesn't seem to be very good through there, and that seems to be my speciality, if you will. Always seems to be chicane. Vietnam, chicane.
Albert is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 4.4 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:14.2. You're losing around 7/10 a lap.
And that's not very good news, as we take a bit of a adventure on the exit turn 3. Sainz actually looked down my inside through the fast S section, but showed him the door.
Tyre condition is still looking good.
And you can trust me at this point, they were not feeling good at all. Even with 8/11 front wing, well 8 on the front wing, 11 on the rear wing, I was understeering so much. I know I've got 11 on the rear wing, which is not helping, but still. And Sainz looking around the outside on turn 1,
Which will be less than optimal.
shutting the door, but he goes through a bit of a switchback, and he's not alongside. Or did I have to give him a bit more space than I did? We're running a little bit wide through turn 3. And Sainz looking round the outside this time. He is ahead,
7.0
but again the
seconds.
chicane coming in handy, and he actually spins us almost. He's keeping the spin on us. Flashbacks from China last episode, except it was a bit more high stakes last episode. And making sure I got that on my recording, because I'd be a bit annoyed if I didn't. That's definitely not helping the entire situation, and Sainz now coming into someone. He's already got me before the braking zone. Look for a lunge down the inside, get a track limits warning. Sainz goes for the switchback. He's alongside me as we come through to turn 2, but we managed to show him the door again. But he goes down the inside, turn 3, he gives me a little bit of a nudge on the rear, and I have to back out of it. I get the better exit though, and I'm looking maybe round the outside, but no, I don't have the engine power. The engine is my downfall at the moment. And I know I'm getting a major engine power at Monaco, but that's at Monaco. It's not here at this Grand Prix. You go for, well, I don't know if that was a great move down the inside. It was a big dive bomb down the inside, getting the move. Maybe not the best place to make it, considering there's a DRS zone right by it, but thankfully we pushed him far enough away that he's nowhere near us. breaking the tyres down, really not feeling good. 56% on the front left. We are boxing next lap. I'm set to pit for lap 11 and it is lap 10. They are really not feeling good. Albon 11 seconds away. I'm definitely not looking in front right now. I'm looking behind. Though really starting to draw away from the sides. 3 tenths out of my DRS now. Although a bit of a mistake into the corner, going maybe a little bit deep. But he's still not within a second at the detection zone. We skip forward onto lap 11, through the fast S section. Nothing's really happened. I've dropped Sainz by another 7 tenths. But other than that, I'm just boxing this lap. It's 64% on the front left. I was definitely trying to wear the front left by a couple more percent. Maybe that's purposeful knock-up. Okay, yes it was.
Some information on Leclerc. They seem to have an issue.
And Leclerc with an issue. He's in P2 at the moment. And I think that is either Bottas or Hamilton boxing. And definitely Vettel boxing. And it's Hamilton who's boxed. So Bottas out in front, coming into pits. And get the entry just about right. Maybe could have been a little bit later on the brakes, but I prefer not to. If they're giving me time for it.
Go, go, go.
Not a very good stop though. 3.1 seconds. It's not going to help much. And George Russell about 1.5 seconds in front of us. Although it should be fairly easy pickings. I might struggle a little bit, of course, with my engine. But I definitely have a better car than him. Although that won't be the case in the coming Grand Prix this weekend. I can say that for certain. Because of course he's going for Mercedes, because Hamilton has currently got coronavirus. Of course all our best wishes with him, even though no one really watches these, so no one really knows that I give him my best wishes. But I hope he recovers and comes back strong. Although I definitely do hope that George Russell gets to show Mercedes what he can do. Of course Hamilton, I don't think he's signed a contract yet for the next few seasons. So, you never know. I think Mercedes will still keep him though.
6.2 seconds.
They probably will. He's of course a 7-time world champion. Not going to really pass up on him. A little bit of a squirm out of turn 3.
Our gap behind is 3 points.
Bit of a skip forward there. But you can guess why. Because it's the recording!
Russell's out of your gap to car in front
Of course
is
it is.
1.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 16.1.
And I was really hoping that George Russell would pit soon because I was definitely losing time. I was getting DRS of course down straight, which was helping. But I was losing time in the corners from Vertier. And also crucially, I was losing a lot of tyre grip from being in Vertier, which does accelerate the process of your tyre wear. And I had a look at maybe getting a bit of a switchback going, but he covered the inside line, so I couldn't. But do I really need to mention that we're still recording that cut? Do I really need to? getting pretty close to George Russell's rear wing there. Still a little bit back, but getting closer. And this one I saw how close I really was, so I just decided to use all the overtaking, all the fuel, and using slipstream, DRS, and going round the outside at turn 1. Still got a wing alongside me, but we get the move done. That was stressful making the move, I will admit. It's maybe not a move I'd want to make every race, but I made it work.
Okay, gap ahead is 6.8 seconds. Verstappen is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 6.3.
Big cut there, that's, well, that's for once not recording. That is to shorten the video down a bit. But I'll just give you a quick rundown. Verstappen pitted, Verstappen started catching me. Not much more to say. I was tyre saving and saving my engine. And also my DRS failed. Which is going to be brilliant for when Verstappen inevitably passes me. Because he's on fresh mediums and I'm on first 0.5 hand tyres. I won't say second hand, they're not terrible. They're not brand new, fresh out of the box. I mean, you can already see the gap coming down. So that is going to be so much fun when I fight this second. So much fun.
Teammate by 14.0 seconds.
And surprisingly, only 14 seconds ahead of Mick Schumacher. I'm usually beating him by a pit stop. I could take a pit stop and I'd still be in front of him. But for this Grand Prix I'm not, which is a bit surprising. I suppose we are, I'm guessing, on the same strategy. And also you didn't have to be stuck behind George Russell for a number of laps. I'm stepping now in my DRS. Brilliant, and getting a snap of those there out of the corner. Even better. I mean, I'm not even fighting at this point. I mean, lean fuel mix. There's no point fighting it. It's going to happen. And I wish I could have gotten a good run out of turn 1, but no, I decided to hit the inside curve and get a big snap of oversteer. And there goes P7 pretty much. Do I really even need to say what that's for? Do I really need to? It's for the recording. A very nice entry into the corner there. Don't really have to think about the exit through there because it's not a very long straight. Although on that corner you really do need to think about the exit because it's a DRS zone, and if you're defending for the lead on the final lap of the race with a faulty engine, then you don't want to be getting the bad exit out of there.
Till the end of the race.
And I suppose it's a bit of a wake-up call, if you will, because my tyres already don't feel amazing. So I was pretty concerned that they weren't going to make it to the end, and you can see me tyre saving and then going full power on the straight, because if I'm going to lose somewhere, then I might as well gain somewhere else. And just going into fast forward because I'm just tyre saving. I said in Vietnam, when I was tyre saving as well, what's the point of me showing it? It's a bit stupid really, because I'm just going around at about 40 miles an hour whilst other people are whizzing by at 200. It's almost like being a woman driving. And still tyre saving. What more can be said? You can see how tentative I am on the throttle coming out of the exit of the corners. I'm just feathering the throttle. And the tyres, like I said, they're not feeling awful, but with 13 laps left in the race, well 12 now, but with 12 laps left of the race, it's not the most desirable thing to be on completely dead hard tyres for 10 laps. Skipping forward 3 laps. So like I said, it was tyre saving, but at this point I was back to normal driving pretty much. I wasn't completely flat out pushing, I am still conserving my engine, my engine UK. My energy store, which you can now see, has lost a bit of full charge because the percentage I've got has gone white, so I've completely dumped everything to try and keep it alive for as long as possible. Engine UK not feeling too good. Control electronics not too good either. As well, turbocharger not good either. But the gearbox is fine.
We're accumulating some wear on the MG UK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
And Jeff actually said it was going to rain. So I was a bit worried because old hards, rain, it's not a good mix. And 75% on the ICE. I'm Not feeling too good with it. I really am engine saving. You can see short shifting so I don't run the revs too high. Trying to downshift pretty late. It is really hard to keep balance with the MG UK and the energy store because you can't dump everything without hurting your MG UK, which is what charges your battery. But you need a storage. You need storage for the actual battery going in. So you need to use EOS to make so you can have more storage. But because of that, you make it harder for you to get EOS. It's hard to manage. Because dumping all of my energy is definitely not helping my MG UK. But I do prefer to save my energy store than my MG UK. It's just me. But I prefer to be able to have the energy, for example at the start of a race, have the energy, and be able to use it, but know that I've got less energy recovery, so I know to use it more conservatively. And actually McLaren going so, that's going to be Lando Norris, because of course Sainz is behind me. And yep, Lando Norris out of the session. Well, considering he's my rival, that's pretty good for me, if I say so myself. No points for you, Mr. Lando. And tyres were really starting to go off now. Only a few laps left, but they were really starting to go off.
Okay, there's a fair amount of wear to the engine now. Just be aware, we're keeping an eye on it. Seconds.
And skipping forward again because I'm just saving everything now. I'm trying to save my engine because I want to use that for Monaco. I really do, because I don't want to use a fresh engine. And actually yellow flags, I don't know who that's for. Actually my teammate going very slowly. That seems to be from Mick Schumacher. Oh no! I mean he wasn't going to point, so anyway. And he stops on track. And actually a big pile up occurring. Yellow flags all the way. About 6 cars piled up. And Sergio Perez out of the session because of this. And so is Pierre Gasly. So I'm actually going to move up into P7. Because Sergio Perez was in front of me. But a collision with, I'm assuming, my teammates from a big pile up has caused me to be, well, in P7, unless I take an awful spin here and Ocon gets me. But Ocon has been lapped, so Ocon will not get me. I will be able to drive home scot-free. And in hindsight, I really should have taken this lap a lot slower, because there's no one that can catch me. So if I'd taken a lot slower, could save the engine, so on and so on. But I decided to go for a normal lap, but a lot more saving on it. I was still definitely saving, but I was still going for it. Which, I mean, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and hindsight says that that was not a good idea. Although I'm guessing Alex Albon has broken his front wing, because I was about 44 seconds coming into turn 3 and it's 37 seconds now. And I mean, as you can see, especially by the engine pitch, I am not pushing at all. And coming through the chicane for the final time, getting a little bit of oversteer actually. And coming through the penultimate corner, a bit of a lock up there. It was starting to rain actually. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it was starting to rain as we come through the final corner. So perfect timing really. and we come across the line for P7.
Race over. Take care of the car on the
Compared to last time out in China, not amazing. But compared to other results, pretty good. You can already see the rain coming onto the screen. I definitely got a bit of a lucky break there,
What a great race then.
because my
What a
tyres were
magnificent
absolutely
victory here at the
dead.
Dutch Grand
25
Prix.
laps on hards,
So Anthony, what made the
and then trying to
difference
drive
out
in the
there
rain.
today?
That's why I was
I
so
think a large part of
squirmish
the
out the
result comes
final
down to
2
temperament.
corners.
They were
There was
able
only
to
a
keep
couple
their
drops of
heads when
rain,
everyone around them was losing
but
theirs.
that's how much of an
And that's allowed
influence
them
it
to get
had
the
on me.
best out of the car to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. After today's performance, Valtteri Bottas secures the championship lead. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed. And a good job in traffic as well. It's got to be Valtteri Bottas, a commanding performance that I think had the audience's eyes glued to him for the majority of the race. I know that's at odds with the official decision, but I think they deserve some recognition on a day where both of these drivers are at the top of their game.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
And for some reason, Lando Norris gets a point for finishing the race, which he definitely didn't. He retired on lap 33, if my memory serves me right. And we ourselves move up to level 5 acclaim. Definitely something that helps. And actually getting the novice sponsor payout. That's the 30 laps in practice, because I thought that was 30 laps over the whole weekend. It was practice. So I really did get a bit shafted there, but thankfully we actually got it. It's only 100k, but I'm still glad I've got it. And we're going to put a power team building on for activities because I kind of want it. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for the Spanish Grand Prix.
For the next Grand Prix.